Ah, greetings. Submitted for your approval is Another Day in the Life of Michael Scott Catridge. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, I was trying to make a little Twilight Zone episode, which sometimes is what my life feels like. Twilight Zone. Yeah, speaking of Twilight Zone, you know what kind of bugs me? This is what kind of bugs me a little bit. Might even be annoying. You ever wake up and you had a really good dream, and you know you had a good dream, but then you can't remember it? Yeah, that's annoying. Because I had one of those last night. I just remember it was... Actually, you know what? I had two dreams last night. I had two, because one of them was really, really good, and I remember the whole thing. I remember it in detail. I can't tell you why. I just know that I do. But I know that I had another one, and I can't think... I mean, it was just gone. As soon as I was up for the day, it was gone. But the one I do remember, which I'll share with you here, because it was fantastic. So this one friend of mine, who's no longer a friend of mine, happened to be at an event with her new how do we say, squeeze, somebody that she's fooling around with. So he was having an event, and she was there kind of as a, you know what, I don't really remember the detail. She was like as a guest celebrity judge, something like that. So anyway, she goes to reach for this microphone that's really too high, and she goes and she slips and falls on her ass. And she's the kind of person that would be so mortified by that, like that it would bother her for, like a year later. And that's about the only detail I remember about the dream. But it was a wonderful dream. And the other one I think was even better. Well, I don't know, maybe not better than that. But it was a good one, and I cannot think of it for the life of me. What are you going to do, right? I don't know. Maybe we could figure it out. Maybe you and I, or, you and I, could figure out how to recall our dreams. I mean, like, they take place, right? I mean, like, we see them, so they're up here somewhere. But how do we get at them? Is it a memory? Is it something that we've, like, kind of, like, flushed out? It's a shame. Maybe we should work on it. I like the idea. So anyway, I got up, remembered that I had a great dream, been in a good mood all day because of it, and the only thing that bothered me was that I couldn't remember the other one, which would have been nice too. It was a beautiful day, by the way, today. I mean, we're talking like almost 70 degrees, 2 days removed from snow. What are you going to do? What we should do is go ask the weathermen what they predict for tomorrow, or maybe what they predicted for today, like a few days ago, because maybe I'd be curious, because I really don't remember this heat wave being mentioned much, at least not to the degree that it was. But it was such a nice day that I decided I was going to go exercise. And what I normally do is I do this loop around my neighborhood, and it's weird because maybe I shouldn't tell you this. Okay, but I'll tell you anyway. So I go through and I walk, and towards the end of it, I get to a point where there's two little stone dogs that are like on this person's driveway, like right in front of their stairway. There's like maybe stone or concrete or something weird, but they're two little bulldogs, right? And I walk by them, and every time I do, I cannot walk by them and not say hi, So every time I walk by, I'm like, hey boys, or, see you tomorrow. So I say something. It's just kind of weird. I don't know why I do it, but I do it. I don't know why I told you, but I did it. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, you know what else I thought of that's kind of annoying? When I was driving home last night, or was it when I was driving to the restaurant to meet up with my friends or to work? You ever notice those headlights, the halogens that are just a lot brighter than all the other headlights that are out there? It's not so bad. You see them coming on from the opposite side, they're coming at you, and you can see, you can tell, and they don't really bother you. But what does bother you is when they're actually right behind you. right behind you or right to the side of you, the next car over. And they kind of just, all of a sudden you're passing them and they all of a sudden hit your rear view mirror, you know, or your side view mirror. Well, excuse me. That's kind of annoying because it's blinding and I don't like it. Just thought I'd share. Anybody that has them, don't let me pass you. Annoying. So anyway, today I wound up talking to a friend of mine. He said, like, hey, I got this idea for a short film, you know, and he throws it out there, and you know, we start going back and forth, and then we call each other on the phone, and you know, we're developing, and all of a sudden, I mean, like, we really actually have this really good story right now. And I'd go into more detail, but we haven't got anything down on paper yet. But it was really good. I mean, it was a really good story that I think has a good chance of being filmed soon because it was that intriguing, you know, at least to me, and that's not easy to do. I also had one yesterday, which I forgot to mention, but, you know, the timing on this was so weird. So I'm at my parents' house, and I go downstairs, and my dad is clearing out a drawer that hasn't been touched probably for 30 years, right? And he's throwing away baseball cards and such that are inside this drawer. And I happened to get there, and I said, hey, wait, what are you doing? Let me see that. And he has one in his hand, and I pull it out of his hand, and it's this one particular card of a certain player that has, like, it immediately realized that this guy has an exceptional story, you know, like about how his career went. And I'm thinking to my life, this thing's never been filmed. This guy's story, this would be a great story. So it's just weird, the timing of things, when, you know, you happen to be here, you happen to go downstairs, somebody happens to have a card in their hands, and all of a sudden, I've got like this whole idea for a movie. I researched it today, and nobody's done anything on him. I mean, there's a couple of books about him, but it's another story. It's a very inspirational story that I'm going to develop a lot further. And I'll tell you more about that later, too. But I just thought that, you know what, that's... I hear some noise. Do you hear any noise? No, you probably don't hear any noise. But it was just it was cool. Like the idea is just kind of, you know, like in one day or 2 consecutive days, I've got like 2 more films that are just waiting to come out, you know. But anyway, I think I don't think there's anything else. There was something I was trying to remember, and maybe it was the dream. Maybe it was the dream that I was still trying to remember. I don't know. I can't tell. Oh! I got one more thing. One more annoying thing like that we can add to the list. You ever go to a restaurant and you're sitting there and you're waiting and it's taking a little while, and you know, you're kind of understanding because it looks busy, or your server happens to be like really overwhelmed at the moment with a lot of people. But you see other tables that kind of come and sit down and they get everything before you. And even though that you've been there maybe for a half an hour longer, you know what? I don't like that. It's annoying. Just thought I'd share that with anybody who happens to be working in that industry that might want to pass that along to more people that might be doing that sort of thing. Don't let a customer sit there for too long without even talking to them. It's annoying. So anyway, that was it. That's what I was thinking about today. I got to go to bed soon because, you know what? I got to work the night shift tonight. So weekend's over, back to reality, or as I like to think of sometime, the Twilight Zone.